Good morning, Unity. Good morning, world. It's just a beautiful thing to see people gathering in the spirit of oneness, in the spirit of loving connection and knowing that we are all connected, no matter our outer appearance, no matter our inner beliefs. And today we are going to go to a little bit of a different area of that connection. And who better to lead us in that direction but Tom Titus, who is going to be sharing this idea of nurturing our inner wildness. So notice the word is inner wildness. I think it's inner wildness. So there's some measure of self-control, I suppose, that we need to have today. But this being Unity, you never quite know exactly what's going to happen. So, and if you're at home watching live stream, there's no boundaries, right? No boundaries. So anyway, we come together to remember this deep connection we have with ourselves and with this incredible wild nature of the universe that is wild and yet so intelligent and so orderly in its own way. So we're going to share this message of remembering. Why are we here? Why are we here?
Hello? Oh, yes. To love, serve, and remember. And I love each and every one of you, and I'm so grateful to see you all here today. So right now, we'll just go ahead and bless the youth that are here and the youth that are not here. So if you'll just repeat after me. We love you.
We love you.
We bless you. And we behold the divine spark within you.
The divine spark within you.
And happy birthday to Clara.
What a lovely way to start the day. And to start this service, we will light the Christ candle.
Good morning, everybody. So today I would like to light the candle for our youth, for their spirit, their vitality, and most of all, their energy. They definitely give me energy. Go ahead. Go ahead. Need help?
Normally that takes a 3-week training process, so I'm
Gee, Sean, you're tall. Thank you to Sean and his young friend for getting us started.
Eric and
Oh,
Ari,
it was Eric, sorry.
they are one.
The two joined at the hip, absolutely. So, with a smile on our faces and a smile on our heart, let us take this journey inward to truly connect with Spirit and know that we are one. Know that we are connected. As we can honor who we are and that wildness that was referred to earlier that beats within our hearts, wild for life, wild for our connection with the divine, wild for our love with one another. So we take this time to truly feel our oneness, the divine expressing in us, as us, and through us, as we honor nature, one another, and being part of the whole. And so it is. Amen. And I have Jody here with me this morning. Jody, would you take your prayer shawl, please? This is one of her creations. Glorious colors. So around the sanctuary, you'll see a number of prayer shawls. And if you feel so inclined, stretch your hands out and bless them so that the recipient might feel your love, your energy, and might it benefit them as we send our love into these shawls and to anyone who might receive one. So, thank you so much, Jody. You can put it back on the chair. Thank you. And today being Prayer Sunday, there are two things I want to call to your attention that we don't talk about very often, but you'll find a description of it in the back of your brand new bulletin that came out today for the month of July. One is, I'm looking at the prayer box in the corner there in the foyer. Just to the left of the prayer box is a little folder with pink prayer cards. If you have a prayer need, you are welcome to call one of the names on this card and have a live prayer right then and there in present time. So that is one way that our prayer ministry can serve you. Another one, similar, is our prayer line. And that is accessed by calling our main number, and Gina's lovely voice will direct you to hit button number 7, and that connects you with the pre-recorded prayer line. If you want an inspirational message, 24/7, 365, our prayer team, 6 of us, record that. And right now, I believe it's the voice of Alice Sparks, who has a pre-recorded message on that line. It's refreshed periodically, so feel free to avail yourself of that. Maybe in the middle of the night you can't sleep and you just need something to focus on, to reconnect you with who you are. That's one way to do it. So, enough about the prayer ministry and Prayer Sunday. If you are with us for the first time, if you're new with us and you would like a welcome packet, the ushers are ready and willing to bring you one. So if you'd like to raise your hand, they are ready to do so. I see some hands going up. On the front is a little name tag. If you would fill in your name, there is a table in the fellowship hall where refreshments are served. And that table has a sunflower tablecloth. If you will sit at that table, we will find you so we can welcome you and share refreshments with you, break bread, so to speak. Now, that's enough from me, and I do believe that Donovan is hiding in the wings. Da, 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 da.
That felt a little weird. I mean, the music was great, but I guess I'm usually hiding somewhere. Thank you, Inga. Hi, welcome. Wow, what a great group. It's good to see you, and good morning. And good morning to everyone who's watching on our live stream. Be sure to make... Can we do that again, Inga? Can you call me out again? Okay.
Come on out, Donovan.
Are we still rolling? All right. Be sure that your cell phones are on silent mode so they don't ring during the service. If you're not sure, you can check now and turn it off or mute it. The July Bulletin is posted. Be sure to check it out at our website at unityofthevalley.org. And Inga did a beautiful job covering the prayer requests in the prayer box, but I'll add that if you can also call Julia, and her number is on the screen if you want to text or call during the week if you're not here at the church. Today, join us for salad in the fellowship hall after the service. We're serving salads now, and we're looking for 2 people to sign up for a Sunday to bring salad during the summer. If you'd like to sign up, the sheets are out in the fellowship hall. All righty, let's see. Tuesday, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., the Unity Hangout. Bring yourself, a friend, a snack, and come hang out at Unity with Alice and Sean. I got to do that. That sounds really fun. Coffee is provided, and they had a fun time last week, it says. 7 p.m. on Tuesday, the Behind the Lens seminar movie is The Lady Killers, and that's followed by... Oh, that's great.
Very spiritual.
What a cast. Oh, that's awesome. And I was talking to Tom a little bit before, and he said that this is it's a bank robbery satire about British society. And he said, I think he said it was one of the top 13 movies in England or Britain, something like that. Anyways, $30 for the series, which is 12 movies, if you pay for the whole series, or $5 each time, which is still a great deal. That's on Tuesday at 7. And also on Tuesday at 7 is the Open Men's Circle in the upstairs Fillmore wing. Excuse me. Wednesday, 4:30 to 5:30 p.m., the Unity Grief Support Group, facilitated by Reverend Inga, will meet in the fellowship hall. Also on Wednesday, from 7 to 8 p.m., chanting and meditation with John West and Donna O'Neill. Next Sunday, our July theme of Soul Strength Finding peace in the midst of life's challenges starts off with the question, is there a kind of faith that I can rely on, a metaphysical perspective? And that's going to be with John West. Next Sunday is our first Sunday potluck in the fellowship hall after the service. Bring a main dish or salad and invite your friends and family. 12:15 to 1:30 p.m. next Sunday, Empathetic Presence and Nonviolent Communication, a monthly primer and practice group with Michael Drayling, and they meet upstairs. They're meeting now on the first and third Sunday of the month. And upcoming Saturday, July 12th, gosh, it's almost July, wow. July 12th, 3 to 5 p.m., Neurographic Fun Day at Reverend Inga's home. We'll have an art project, croquet, meditation, a labyrinth walk, and snacks. And if you want to attend, sign up in the fellowship hall. And now Alice has an announcement, and that'll be followed by one by John.
Hello again, everybody, all you beautiful souls. I want to say a couple of things. Number one, our yard sale was very successful. Thanks to all of you that donated. Thank you so much. We made over $1,400, which was $200 more than last year. So we're so grateful. I am looking for opportunities for anyone who would like to spend a Sunday with the kids. Either you can go to the park with us or down here, or if you have some kind of special passion that you would like to share with them. It could be knitting, it could be crochet, it could be anything. But if you would like to share it with the kids in the month of July and August, if you'll just see me or call me and let me know, and we'll get you signed up. And I tell you, these kids teach you so much. So thank you very much. Have a beautiful morning.
Well, over here, I'm going to give you the latest update on our ongoing Raise the Roof project. For the first time in many years, we're doing a major fundraiser. This is to replace about 2/3 of our roof. And because it is gotten to the leaky point, and so I just appreciate so much, we all appreciate all the support that you've been giving. And what we've been doing is selling shingles at $50 a piece. And we started with 500, and last week we were at 239 left that we still need to sell. And this week we are down to 227, so it just keeps going down. Thank you so much. And back by popular demand, we are going to refresh your memory on this wonderful Raise the Roof song presented by Robin, our own Robin. So let's put the words up on the screen. I think there they are. Go ahead. Robin wrote this for us.
Yeah. I'll try to not sing it too fast. Dripping down into a big old puddle on the ground. But you don't need to frown, 'cause word's been getting around. If you got a little change to spare, I'll protect her up above, need some tender love and care. If you want the outside out there, put a dollar in the box and put your hands in the air. Raise the roof, it shouldn't be holier than you. Got some patching up to do, but a tax-deductible donation would help alleviate this frustration. Raise the roof, it shouldn't be holier than you.
Now into our sing-along. If you want to rise and stretch.
Okay, well, I'm already here.
We could just use that, but we've got another one in mind called The Nature of Me. And I just want to refresh your memory. The simple little melody, it just has this repeating little bit. It goes like this. Oh, life, make me like the breeze, moving through the world with ease, touching in a gentle way. Back to the first melody. Cooling on the hardest day. And the chorus goes like this. Isn't it the nature of me? Isn't it what I'm meant to be? Looking at the clues that you give. Isn't this the way we should live? Isn't it the nature of me? All right, let's take it from the top. Now that you got it, here we go. Oh, life, make me like the breeze. Make me like the breeze, moving through the world with ease, touching in a gentle way, cooling on the hardest day. Isn't it the nature of me? Isn't it what I'm meant to be? Looking at the clues that you give. Isn't this the way we should live? Isn't it the nature of me? Very nice. Oh, life, make me like the stream. Make me like the stream. Rolling, stretching far and free. Far and free. Sharing all the gifts I have. Joy springs all along my path. Isn't it the nature of me? Isn't it what I'm meant to be? Looking at the clues that you give. Isn't this the way we should live? Isn't it the nature of me? Let's hear a little bit from Paul. Life, your deepest ocean show. There's much more we still could know. Life, your highest mountains teach how high every soul can reach. Isn't it the nature of me? Isn't it what I'm meant to be? Looking at the clues that you give. Isn't it the way we should live? Isn't it the nature of me? Yes, it is. Yes, it is the nature of me. Yes, it is what I'm meant to be. Following the clues that you give. I know it's the way we should live. Yes, it is the nature of me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yes, it is the nature of me. Oh yeah, give yourselves a hand. That was beautiful.
You too. Hi there. There we are. Welcome to your meditation time. Just going to have Laura help us here too. Just wait till she settles. I invite you to close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it out with the sound. One more time. Just begin by noticing your breath. Maybe there's some feelings showing up. Allow them to rise and fall. Perhaps there's some thoughts. Just notice them. Perhaps you're having some judgment. Maybe you don't like your feelings. Maybe they're stormy. Maybe you're having doubts. I grant you your birthright to have all of these. I grant you your humanness. Not only do I grant you these, but I implore you to show us, all of you, all your pieces. For it is in those moments of your courage where spirit lies, and the gift is present and begins. Clouds and the rain, storms, all things come and go. Like nature, there is no judgment, only perfection. And as you go out through your day and your life, I surround you with grace, with a divine light that will carry you, that carries you in all your things and all your doings. May you
Well, I grew up from age 4 to 9 out in the hills, out past Junction City, past Cheshire, in a little place called Burp Hollow. And there in the hills of Burp Hollow, I would sing John Denver songs. And I didn't realize this song was controversial, but there is one line in there that some people took offense at. But I will dedicate that line to all the hippies that still exist in our community. I think you'll know which line it is when I sing it. He was born in the summer of his 27th year, coming home to a place he'd never been before. He left yesterday behind him. You might say he was born again. You might say he found a key to every door. When he first came to the mountains, his life was far away, on the road and hanging by a song. But the string's already broken and he doesn't really care. It keeps changing fast and it don't last for long. And the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. The shadow from the starlight is softer than a lullaby. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. He climbed Cathedral Mountains. He saw silver clouds below. He saw everything as far as you can see. And they say that he got crazy once and he tried to touch the sun. And he lost a friend but kept the memory. Now he walks in quiet solitude, the forest and the streams, seeking grace in every step he takes. His sight has turned inside himself to try and understand the serenity of a clear blue mountain lake. But the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Talk to God and listen to the casual reply. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Now his life is full of wonder, but his heart still knows some fear of a simple thing he cannot comprehend. Why they try to tear the mountain down to bring in a couple more people, more scars upon the land. But the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, sing along if you know. I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Here's that line. Friends around the campfire and everybody's high. Rocky Mountain High, the Colorado Rocky Mountain High. I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Talk to God and listen to the casual right, Tom, you're on.
I'm going to go ahead and use the stationery. Thanks, Inga. Donna and John, thank you. We met over 25 years ago in this place. And I'm grateful for your music and grateful for your friendship. And Paul Biondi and to all the music team, Paul, I will never learn how to play 2 saxophones at once. But I got myself a new vest. Nope. Are we going back? So at least to my knowledge, this talk has no AI in it. Unless maybe you count authentic intelligence. Before you clap, what this really means is it's only going to have one slide, and I timed it this morning. It's 47 seconds long. Then we can get back to the music and hold hands and go back and eat in the fellowship hall, which is really nourishing our inner wildness, literally. So I wanted to begin by expanding on a meditation that was that's used before presentations by C. Marie Furman. She's an incredible indigenous writer and teacher who lives in McCall, Idaho. And this is a tree that shows the relationships of not all life forms, but a whole bunch of them. And the take-home message from that is way up there on the upper, I guess that'd be your upper left, there's a little "you are here." That's humanity right there. And you can trace your existence in a continuous lineage all the way back to the center of that tree. It takes 4 billion years to get to the center of that tree. And so humans and all other living beings can trace their ancestry in this unbroken lineage that rose 4 billion, that's a 4 with a lot of zeros behind it, like 9 years ago. And so let's settle our minds and think about all that our ancestors have survived to bring us to this point. Multiple mass extinctions, shifting continents, climate changes, floods, fires, and wild and crazy geological events like exploding volcanoes and molten lava that spreads literally thousands of square miles across the landscape. So is it any wonder that 99% of all species that ever came to be are now extinct? But your lineage remained unbroken. So rest here for a moment on this morning, in this hour, this minute. After 4 billion years, your ancestors have made it possible for you to come together to celebrate love and consciousness. This is a fact of your existence. It is also a miracle. And it doesn't matter how you feel about it, but you might want to take a moment and choose to be grateful. So over most of this vast expanse of time, our ancestors lived completely undomesticated lives. And it's fair to speculate that wildness is etched indelibly into our DNA and is therefore intricately tied to our humanity. and that finding ways to access that undomesticated part of ourselves can help us have larger, more spiritually complete lives. Henry David Thoreau was an interesting guy. Born in Concord, Massachusetts in 1817, he was a writer, an abolitionist, an activist. He participated in the Underground Railroad to free slaves from the South. He first used this quote in 1851. "In wildness is the preservation of the world." And Thoreau loved wild places, and he later incorporated this into an essay called Walking that was published in The Atlantic, and that was soon after his death, actually, in 1862. It might be one of his most misquoted lines ever. It has been co-opted by wilderness advocates, and where wildness has been replaced by wilderness. And as I said, even though he loved wild spaces, he was conflicted over this, actually. And he appreciated civilization also. It's not clear whether he even knew exactly what he meant when he first said it. But as he contemplated it over the years, he began to settle on the idea that wildness is a state of being, an attitude that can be chosen regardless of the place that we find ourselves. Now, personally, I support the preservation of large tracts of undeveloped public, may I say it, land. Thank you very much. I was raised in an outdoor family. I was blessed with lifetime access to wilderness. I've climbed all the major peaks in Oregon. I've heard wolves howl on a full moon in Hell's Canyon. But this morning, I'd like to offer that connecting with our wildness does not actually require wilderness. Wilderness is a place. Wildness is an internal state that can be nurtured. Even in your own living room. And yet Thoreau had his cabin on Walden Pond, a 2-year retreat he spent there, journaling his way to what would eventually become the book, Walden. And I've visited Walden actually a couple of times. It's a beautiful lake. I don't know how it became known as a pond. It's a beautiful place. And there's a small nature center at the access point where you can avail yourself of all things Thoreau. I only have 2 things. I bought an essay called Wild Apples, and this. This is my writer's block. It's awesome. I keep it on my desk, and every once in a while I just have to reach over and hold that to remember what that writer's block's really all about. You know, it's a concrete thing that you can put down and move ahead. And I loved this little plaque there at this nature center. And basically what it says is that Thoreau really believed that we do have places of refuge. And his was at Walden Pond, of course. And the challenge on that plaque is, where's yours? Where's your Walden? So this is my cabin, my Walden, if you will. Now, I have friends with cabins, and not long ago, one of them told me he and his wife are going to go to the cabin for the weekend. And I said, cabin. That's a quaint 2-syllable word for falling down house in the Coast Range that I'm going to spend the rest of my life working on. This is the Johnny Gutter place, built by my great uncle in 1859. I spend a lot of time sitting on that front porch, thinking and writing. It doesn't look exactly like that now because I am in the process of rehabilitating the place. But for me, the Johnny Gunner place is an example of a thin place, and you've probably heard of thin places before. What exactly is a thin place? Well, the Johnny Gunner cabin is actually a thin place in a variety of ways. The walls are sort of a semi-permeable membrane. And over the years, I've shared that place with bats, deer mice, wood rats, a Douglas squirrel, a California ground squirrel, and as my late friend Jerry Gatchell would say, he was a neighbor just up the road, you know something? Sometimes the boundary between inside and outside is getting a little blurry around here. But a thin place is what we generally recognize as a place where the boundary between the so-called physical and metaphysical worlds is thin, and it's easy to travel through it. A thin place doesn't have to be a falling down house in the Coast Range you're going to spend the rest of your life working on. It can be a spiritual destination, your Mecca, if you will. It could be any special place in nature. It could be a regular meditation space. It could be no space at all, but in your mind, a place of mindfulness. I wish I could tell you how to recognize your thin places. All I can really say is it's a process of attentiveness, of paying attention when you're there and seeing what becomes available to you. You'll recognize them. So back to Thoreau for a moment. One of the things I really appreciated also about his walking essay was introducing the term meandering. And meandering isn't exactly walking. It's a kind of a random trip to wherever you're going, and a lot of stopping and looking. And so this presentation has a lot of meandering in it. So I wanted to move on to this thing, to wild cooperation. Every cell in your body is a cooperative event that happened 2 billion years ago. That's before smartphones. And don't worry over the big words in this picture. They just tell a story in biological terms. And what the story really is this. Once upon a time, there was a single-cell being that made its way by eating other single-cell beings. Now, this wasn't exactly a scene from the TV show Wild Kingdom. You remember Marlon Perkins? Yeah, some of you know Marlon. And Jim? Jim's out there wrestling a big old python on a water hole, and Marlon's going, "Get him, Jim." The predatory cells just glommed onto these other cells and digested them. And over some very long period of time, the predatory cells decided to cut a deal with their prey. And they said they would stop digesting the other cells if those folks would turn over the job of turning their food into energy for them, or for both of them. And, I mean, what's the cell that's been engulfed gonna say? No, of course not. So they started cohabitating. And this would sound almost sexy, except that I wonder if it was one of those one-sided relationships with a lot of sort of lopsided power trips involved. One way or another, they joined forces, and the cells that used to become lunch developed into some things called mitochondria, and they're little energy factories that live in all of your cells. And so it turns out that after 2 billion years, that story of cooperation lives inside of each of your cells. It's literally encoded in your DNA. So we have that wisdom within ourselves to cooperate. And it came about a long, long time ago. We have lots of other wisdom involving cooperation. Here's just one of them. 50 million years ago, and I blink compared to 2 billion, right? Our primate ancestors decided to start cooperating, to get along with one another. And it worked out pretty well for everyone. There were folks to take care of nursing mothers, folks to look out for food, people to look out for, or folks to look out for predators. I mean, it was a great thing. It was really good for everyone. And so, in our deep history, it's telling us we need to surround ourselves with humans and other than human beings in really healthy give and receive relationships. We know how to do this. So in a recent interview, American author, Vietnamese American author Ocean Vuong addressed this Buddhist idea that our lives are not really restricted to a single state. We flicker between things, the way stars or lightning bugs flicker between darkness and light. I love that idea. And so right now we're going to flicker, and so don't blink, from cooperation, which usually involves other humans, to solitude. A while back, Laura was up here and she talked about how some of us in the congregation are refugees from traditional religion. I'm one. I'm one of those. I had a run-in with fundamentalist Christianity in my youth, and honestly, I haven't really quite truly forgiven yet. I'll get there. But I'm going to work through some of that today and actually quote from the Bible. And so in Exodus, it talks about Moses. And so Moses, was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He neither ate bread nor drank water. And he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. And when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the tablets of the testimony in his hand, as he came down from the mountain, Moses did not know that the skin of his face shone because he had been talking with God. Now, God must have thought this 40-day fasting and solitude thing was a good idea. Because fast forward somewhere between 1,400 and 1,500 years, and they sent Jesus out there too. And that's in Matthew chapter 4. And then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And after fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. Like, no kidding. So then Jesus had his famous duel with the devil, and Satan tried to get him to turn the rocks into bread, tried to get him to hurl himself off the mountain, and ultimately offered to make him his right-hand man. And of course, the good guy won. Solitude and loneliness aren't necessarily the same thing. Loneliness is mostly considered a negative experience, and in fact, a lot of mental health practitioners say that America now has an epidemic of loneliness. It's easy to be lonely without being alone, right? And it's also possible to find solitude while being surrounded by people, although I confess that's a bit of a reach for me. When I look closely at solitude and loneliness, I can see that Buddhist flicker again, that shifting between two states. Back in the days before cell phones, I used to go on these solo trips out into the desert, high desert in southeastern Oregon. And I remember on one of those trips, I went 4 days without speaking to another human being. Now, I'm fundamentally an introvert. I know this because I recharge my emotional batteries by being alone. It's probably going to take me a week to get over standing up here and doing this right now. But after 4 days with nothing but wind and jackrabbits, I was ready to surface. 40 days? I don't think so. So on those jaunts to the desert, I did my own dance with the devil. And after the first day, I would drop into this deep depression to the point that I was just ready to give up on the trip and head for civilization. Now, I'm a slow learner, but I can be taught. And after a couple of years, I began to realize that I was going through withdrawal, and a whole host of stress hormones associated with being on all the time were subsiding. And after 24 hours and a good night's sleep, I'd be okay, but man, I was lonely for a while. I had to go through that to get there, to that more powerful form of solitude. Now, nearly all the religious traditions of the world recognize the need for solitude. There are literally hundreds of psychological studies showing the positive outcomes of choosing to spend some time alone. And you can see just a few of them up there. Increased empathy, boosts your memory. Whoa, that's big. Enhances creativity, reduces stress. All those things are really, really good things. We need this space, especially now, where we have constant connectivity through our screens. Make no bones about it, those screens are designed to draw you in. We need to counter this by moving back into our wildness, by making room for solitude. Some years ago, I was teaching, I'm retired now, but I taught a class for 25 years called Amphibians and Reptiles of Oregon. So y'all know that salamanders are my babies. There isn't a single one in this talk, by the way. And I at one point, after about 15 years, I figured out that the university probably wasn't going to fire me. So I decided to build a couple of creative writing exercises in, and they were essentially journaling exercises, and I would send my students out to be alone for an hour. That's it. That was the only rule. And they could write anything they wanted. If they didn't really like having themselves like dangled over this creative abyss, I gave them a little 3-paragraph structure that they could stick to if they wanted. But I was scared to death to read the first stack of papers after I had done this, and it turned out to be one of the most, I almost can't talk about it, profound experiences as an educator I'll ever have. And I just can't even believe what they trusted me with. Part of the deal was I would read some of my own writing before they went out there, and the other part of the deal was I would write while they were writing, and the other part of the deal was mine was due a day before theirs, and I would read it in class. It was astonishing. Putting our thoughts on paper is amazing, and especially putting our thoughts on paper by handwriting them. I personally don't journal every day, but it's a big part of my life, and I mean, it literally rewires our brain. It changes how we think about our memories. It's a way to prioritize fears and problems. We learn to accept rather than judge our experiences. And again, it boosts connectivity across the brain, and that old idea of left brain, right brain being your creative side, blah, blah, blah. That's pretty old news now. Really what it is connectivity in your brain. Anything that contributes to that increases your creativity, all these beautiful things, and that's just a short list. One of the downsides of journaling can be obsession, sort of like diarrhea of the pen. And that can spin out into some addictive behavior that we don't really exactly want. So to move ahead with that, enter Elizabeth Gilbert. And you probably know of Elizabeth. She's a very well-known author. Had her big hit, Eat, Pray, Love, years back. Has written a lot since then on creativity. Elizabeth has developed the letters from love. approach to journaling. And I was first introduced to the technique by one of my wonderful writing friends, and it begins just like this. Dear love, what would you have me know today? You could replace love with God or spirit or wild self or whatever works for you. And the rules are really simple. In fact, they're kind of more like guidelines. You remember Pirates of the Caribbean? There were the pirate rules, and one of the old pirates was being questioned about the rules, and he said, they're more like guidelines. I like it. Biologists are more about guidelines than we are rules. So, but do a little warm-up with some reading. You could do some meditation. You could read some previous writing. You could even write. I've done all of these things. I also like to do a little a tapping, Tai Chi, stretching routine that my dear friend Kay Porter set me onto out of her book, The Mental Athlete, a couple of years back, and that's often very helpful. So warm up, and then the key, 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes, okay? Go. And the other key is keep your pen on the paper, because as soon as you lift that pen up, monkey mind kicks in, and you're taking yourself out of the flow. I have the champion monkey mind. My monkey mind is more like Godzilla, okay? I edit my stuff while I write constantly, and everybody says, don't do it, and I can't stop. But I do for this. And so keep that pen on the paper. So I'm going to finish up now. I often like to read something at the end, and I'm most comfortable when I'm reading finished work, but I'm not going to do that today. And this is an entry in my actual journal. My journal has my name and address and phone number in it, and a plea to anyone who might find it disassociated from my body that it's practically my life and I really want it back. And this is an entry from November 30th of last year. And just a little context here, that was darkness, and dark headed into our dark time. And for reasons that you don't really need to know, I was headed emotionally into a pretty dark time as well. And so I always start out with the sentence, love, what would you have me know this morning? By the way, my handwriting's atrocious, so if I stumble, it's because I can't read it. Sweet child of the darkness, you are on the edge of it. This feels like a precipice teetering away to oblivion, but your vision of nothingness isn't real. You're hanging on to sun-drenched summer, to October leaves yellowing and oranging into those long weeks of sunshine. Let go now. The storms have come to strip everything down to their essence. Be grateful for the somber green of conifers here to escort you through winter. Remember that this is your time to shine. This long blackness, more than an absence of light. This is the slow cooker of creative rest, the simmering pot you've been waiting for. The darkness is an incubator for self-discovery. Know that you're more than your emotions, that they are the fickle accompaniment of the vanishing light. They are real, but your feelings are happening above a layer of fundamental truth. You are a champion of hunkering. You are here to thrive, along with the deer bedded beneath the old trees, along with the hardwoods biding their time. You are the red cedar, the dark fir, the hemlock who continue to gather the light that remains, but also who love these dark spaces between the stars. You're all wildly beautiful. Look for your thin places. Make time for healthy relationships and time for solitude. Maybe consider taking up a pen and paper. And remember, peace manifests in many ways. May it find you in any of its multitude of forms. Thank you for the gift of listening.
Hello, everybody. How are you today? I just wanted to say a special thanks to everybody that helped with the YFM sale, all the people that donated and bought stuff, and all the people that helped afterwards us clean up. And I wanted to say we accidentally either sold or donated all of our YFM, like all their crafts and art stuff. So if anybody has any extra stuff that they could donate, that would be amazing. I also wanted to let everybody know that I will be out there taking credit cards and donations for Raise the Roof. I want to say thank you to Robin and everybody today and that spoke. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And for Tom. And anyways, so I guess, can we have the affirmation, please? Oh, the offering, sorry, offering. Okay. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love and I trust God. Thank you so much, everybody.
The winter wind, raised where the mountains are old. Their springtime waters came dancing down, and I remember the tales they told. The whistling waves of my younger days, too quickly have faded on by, but all their memories linger on like the light in a fading sky. River, take me along in your sunshine. Sing me a song, ever moving and winding and free. You roll it on river, you change it on river. Let's you and me, river, run down to the sea. To the city and back again. I've been moved by some things that I've learned. Met a lot of good people and I call them friends. Felt the change when the seasons turned. I heard all the songs that the children sing and listen to love's melodies. I felt my own music within me rise like the wind in the autumn trees. River, take me along in your sunshine. Sing me a song, ever moving and winding and free. You rolling old river, you changing old river. Let's you and me, river, run down to the sea. Someday, when the flowers are blooming still, someday, when the grass is still green, my rolling waters will around me bend and flow into the open sea. So here's to the rainbow that followed me here, and here's to the friends that I know, and here's to the song that's within me now. I will sing it wherever I go. River, take me along in your sunshine. Sing me a song, ever moving and winding and free. Rolling old river, changing old river. Run down to the sea,
Down to the sea,
down to the sea,
down to the sea.
down to the sea.
With those wonderful words, we take a moment to feel the deep gratitude for all the gifts we've received this morning and the blessings that will continue to be with us throughout the coming week. We give thanks for these gifts and we trust Spirit to supply and exceed our needs. For these and all blessings, we are truly grateful, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, Betsy. And thank you to all the volunteers who make this service possible, our wonderful staff, our fantastic musicians, and the beautiful message. Thank you, Tom. We are inspired and we are filled.
Can I just add one thing? I just have to. I just want to thank Justice for that beautiful meditation.
And we have our chaplains with us this morning. I see Bev, I see Julia. Would you raise your hands, please, so folks know where to find you? If you have a need for prayer this morning, this side of the service of the sanctuary is dedicated to prayer. And if you need a prayer shawl for yourself or a loved one, come see me after the service. And with that, let us sing our closing song.
It's nice to play with a group. I haven't done this in a while. Yeah, we never got